Hi there. It's a mostly dry and rather chilly picture across the UK this weekend, but as we head through the coming week, there will be some significant changes. So let's just take a quick look at how things may develop. Here's a picture on Saturday afternoon. The United Kingdom is under the blue shading, which indicates rather cold air aloft. But moving forwards to Friday the 21st, the blues have now been replaced by greens and light greens. So temperatures aloft at least, so these values are at about 1500 metres above our heads, will be rising. That's shown quite nicely on the sequence here. You can see the blues gradually been replaced by greens and light greens, indicating that warming trend through the coming days. But there is a price to pay for that transition, at least it looks like there will be one, because pressure is going to be falling, and although it will be dry for much of the coming week, by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, low pressure to the southwest starts to have a good deal more influence on things, so the risk of showers or longer spells of rain increases. Temperatures, though, as I've already indicated, will be rising, so to begin with it's quite a chilly theme. But by Wednesday, values in southern and central regions could be reaching 15, 16 or 17 degrees. The overnight lows as well will be rising, although it's worth emphasising that in the short term it could be very cold in places. Widespread frosts and maybe as low as -5, -10 Celsius even in the Scottish Glens. So some very sharp frosts in parts of the UK during the coming days, but through the middle and second half of next week, those temperatures will be rising not only during the days but through the nights as well. So the frost risk starts to reduce, and that's shown quite nicely here in the ensemble temperature data tables. So this is for London. It's showing the daytime values. The light greens there early on indicating maximums of around 6 to 10 Celsius. But by Wednesday the 19th, Thursday the 20th, the amount of yellow has increased markedly. It's become the dominant colour in the columns. And those are runs which are forecasting values of around 11 to 15 degrees. So the warming trend very clearly showing up here. It's worth also pointing out that beyond the middle part of next week, there is something of a downward trend returning. So as the weather turns more unsettled, those daytime temperatures will be dipping once more, but not to the levels which we've got or had in recent days. The overnight lows are also trending upwards. That's what's shown on this data table. So the dark greens increasingly being replaced by light green. So the frost risk, as I've already mentioned, reducing, especially in the south. But what about the north? The daytime values here are for Glasgow. A similar trend is shown, although it's not going to be as mild or as warm as it is in the south. Very typical, of course, in the UK. It's generally colder as you head northwards. But by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, values here of about 6 to 10 degrees. There is a significant amount of yellow. Those are runs in the 11 to 15 Celsius bracket, but it's staying in a minority. But certainly an upwards trend through the days for a time. And likewise, the nighttime values are also starting to recover to an extent, although, as I've already been saying, in the short term, frost is likely to be quite sharp, with most of the runs in the ensemble showing overnight values falling below freezing point. It's really only from about Thursday, Friday onwards, as the weather begins turning more unsettled, that the frost risk starts to fall significantly here. But in the short term, not a great deal of rain. This is showing the accumulations through the coming week. And in millimetres, it's only when we get to Friday the 21st, Saturday the 22nd, that the totals start to rack up. Before then, maybe a little bit of rain in places, but it's a mostly dry picture. And that's reinforced by the ensemble data tables. These show the runs which are forecasting rain at a given time. It's the purples and blues and greens which are important because those are going for significant amounts of rain at the given time step. The dark greys show a little bit of rain, but not a great deal. And the light greys are indicating runs forecasting completely dry conditions. So once more, this is for central areas, but it's representative really of a general trend across the UK. It's from about Thursday, Friday next week that the risk of rain starts to appreciably rise. But before then, a mostly dry picture. The energy demand forecast follows those trends. You can see it's dipping through the coming days. The red line is trending downwards, so temperatures rising. The likely demand for heating begins to fall. But then from around the 20th, through the last week, the last third at least of March, the red line starts rising once more as temperatures dip from their earlier milder levels. So quite a lot taking place through the coming week. It's going to be dry for much of the time, and temperatures will be rising through the days, and the risk of nighttime frosts reduces, although in the short term, as I've mentioned, there could well be some very cold nights. Then it turns more changeable. The risk of rain starts to increase from around Thursday, Friday next week. And temperatures will probably be trending back towards the average after climbing and becoming potentially quite warm in the south for 1 or 2 days at least. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful. Please consider hitting the like button if you did. Also subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And of course, stay up to date with the day-to-day weather developments by checking out the TheWeatherOutlook.com website. Thanks now. Bye.